See, here's the kicker, Pauline. I never wanted that job in Alice Springs. I never applied for it. They asked me. And this whole entire string of events that started there, literally started there, it's destroyed my life, Pauline. Destroyed my life at the hands of Australian government officials, Pauline, who sought to undermine me just for wanting compensation for what happened at work, Pauline. But so many other things are going on, weren't there? All these things circling around that made me sort of like question things. Question the reality that I was living, Pauline. Question the very reality that I was living, Pauline. Only to be continually attacked by the state, Pauline. But by the state, red flags, red flags. Got to put every bit of hearsay and gossip down. Red flags. Pretty clean criminal record if you look at my criminal record, Pauline. It's pretty much non-existent, isn't it? It's all that dividing of families and continual pestering of people so that you're subordinate to the state. Good child, good child. Bad child, bad child. Now you listen here. Bad child, bad child. You can see it. It's called social engineering, Pauline. Isn't that what those Chinese people do with those computers that I had in the office at Alice Springs, Pauline? Those CCTV cameras that got moved to the police department, Pauline, from the council to the police department, Pauline. Well, it would have something to do with all that sort of social engineering stuff, right? While you do the human trafficking, human engineering. Is that what Bill Gates is doing? Sitting in his car there? All those humans out there? We're making a mockery of it enough yet, Pauline, for you to totally look at how these people destroyed everything around me and the reason why. And the reasons why, Pauline. The very reasons why, Pauline. I came to this wonderful state of Queensland and I followed all the rules, Pauline. Every rule to the letter, Pauline. To the letter. And I don't know whether to be a man or a human. All those humans out there. I don't know how to be non-wardish according to all of your laws. Like, you've trapped us in pauperism, have you? We'll just keep stinging them till they've got nothing left. That sounds like extortion to me, Pauline. Extortion by the state itself, Pauline. By the very state itself. Is that slavery, Pauline? Is that human trafficking? Red flag, bad child. Red flag, bad child. Oh, don't give him hospital care. He's got too many red flags on his system. Look at all those red flags in New South Wales, Pauline. Isn't that where that David Halpin is? Is that why I moved to Queensland? Because I feared for my own safety from these very people, Pauline. From these very people. Red flag, bad child. But they came and destroyed everything that I was in my family and manipulated everything and tried to manipulate me. Bad child! But it didn't work, did it, Pauline? I stood up in those courtrooms and I defined things at law, didn't I, Pauline? Because I was touched up at work, wasn't I, Pauline? I was felt up at work, wasn't I, Pauline? And then 15 years later, this is what I have to deal with. You turning everything against me. Red flag, bad child! Bad child! Can't find God. Can't find that on the Supreme Court record. Can't look at all of this as a delusion. Bad child! I just don't understand it, Pauline. Like, will we go back to the beginning again? Shall we go back to the beginning again? Or should we just press forward with all of the things that have been laid out on the table? Because I don't have to break the law, Pauline. I never had to break the law. You can see that you kept me poor. I'm a pauper now. You kept me poor as a pauper. And then when I tried to be a man of God, a literal man of God under human rights and under self-determination, and crack out of that humanity, Paul, and to be back to that mankind, only those justices sort of kind of recognise it, whereas everyone, bad child, else recognises, bad child, the Tourette's of the society, bad child, right, red flag, red flag, red flag, and your social engineering, it becomes a social credit score. And then a carbon credit score, And then you're locked in this prison, this concrete prison where prison masters think they can run their toy sets around, Pauline. Toy sets, like, you know, like driverless trucks and shit to feed those people in their prisons because they're bad child. Those humans out there, look at all those humans out there. They're trying to think about things, aren't they, Pauline? They're all trying to wonder why they're being treated as slaves, Pauline. Literal slaves. They've been red flagged and treated differently at different levels in hospitals, Pauline. Treated at different levels in hospitals, Pauline. That's pretty interesting. That's a bit like apartheid, but not. That's a bit like racism, but not. Red flag, bad child. Put them to the back of the queue. Back of the bus, back of the bus. Back of the bus, back of the bus. Is that what it is, Pauline? Pauper, back of the bus. Oh, I showed you it wasn't a pauper, Pauline. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to figure out why our Anzac would go into Beersheba, Pauline, and why that would upset your police, and why that would see red flag, red flag, red flag continuously, and why that would see them believe gossip all over the place, Pauline, and never actually finger a criminal offence because none have been committed ever. Ever, Pauline, ever. Ever. You know, this is how you treat honest Australians. This is your Facebook, social media, twisty, sort of fixated person's part, Pauline, like where we caught them out at their technical war crimes, like the red flag, back of the bus stuff, Pauline. Like, caught the fuck out. And it gets worse than that, because I haven't even started on the criminal case yet. Oh, it gets so much worse than that. Because this is actual human trafficking, isn't it, Pauline? This leads to how they traffic humans, doesn't it, Pauline? All those humans out there that Bill Gates talks about, all those humans out there. We have a problem. Too many humans out there, Pauline, not enough men in mankind, because you won't let them through the door into mankind, because you're a bunch of elitists hiding in the executive branches of Parliament, like Bill Gates, who gives $5 billion to the Australian government. Well, what's that for? All the AI to run all the humans, like that little CCTV camera in the corner at Alice Springs, where I didn't really want a job, where all this started, where you treated me unfairly, causing me to stand up, and then you destroyed my family, and then you went on and defamed my character, and then you went on to do all these other things, Pauline, and then you red flag, media, red flag, it's Tourette's, Pauline. It's the Tourette's of evil, it's the Tourette's of the devil, because you never look at the actual law that's been put on the table, because you believe you're above it, believe you're above it, Pauline, and there are actual technical war crimes laid down on the table that I don't think the people are willing to put up with anymore, Pauline. I just don't think the people are willing to put up with the way that they're treated in this social engineering. And it is social engineering. You're trying to engineer a public in a fourth industrial revolution. You can't deny it. You had Bill Gates do all of these things, Pauline. You had that Skerrick do all of these things with money, Pauline, instead of with God. All those humans out there, Pauline, all those humans out there. I'm repeating myself because that's what politicians do to make it sink in, all those humans out there. All those humans, Pauline. Right? I'm not trying not to be a politician. I don't want to be a YouTuber either. But at the same time, I feared for my safety. And now it's crux time in that you've now got to listen to the courts. And now it's crux time in that you now have to listen to the people, the very people, Pauline, that you've never listened to in the whole entire time you sat in that parliament. You mocked them with a burqa once. Or did you mock the establishment with that burqa instead? Because you knew what was going on. So what was Beersheba again? What should we be doing on an international landscape while we treat all our citizens like slaves? Did you get caught out at that war crime called human trafficking? Hard things to think about, Pauline. I'm asking you very clearly. Is this human trafficking? Is this a social credit score? Is this a reliance on the AIs and the computers and all of that sort of stuff to sting people in their cars? They're going down the highways at their pleasure. At the Crown's pleasure, you come along and sting them in the... That sounds like a highwayman, except it's by camera. So is the state now the highwayman doing the human trafficking, Pauline, directly with the electronics provided by Bill Gates and the software that he provides. Those artificial intelligences to run all of these cameras and shit. He's doing 59, oh good boy. He's doing 61, $100,000 fine, put him in jail. $100,000 fine, just make up the numbers, Pauline. Put them all in distress. They're just humans out there, aren't they, Pauline? They're just humans out there. Red flag, bad child, bad child. And this is artificial intelligence now, Pauline. Not silly little cops with tablets in their hands. This is real artificial intelligence, Pauline. And you're allowing it to occur in our Crown Estate, Pauline. In our Crown Estate, at the cost of all of this voice stuff, because you want to invoice somebody for all of the shit you've destroyed. Is that right? You want to invoice someone for the concrete? All those cameras? All those donations by Bill Gates. We'll donate $1 billion to do all the AI, Pauline, to run humans, all those humans out there, Pauline. So this goes back a long way, and the trail of history's there. And anybody that ever goes there looking kind of shuts the fuck up, Pauline, because they don't want to speak about what they find, Pauline. It's the truth. You're dealing with a bunch of scumbags. You're dealing with some real evil, Pauline. Some real serious fucking evil, Pauline. That are willing to destroy people's reputations, even though they've never done a thing wrong in their entire life, Pauline. In their entire life. You're willing to pray up and down their properties to make sure, known to police, Pauline. Known to police, because you make sure that happens. It's kind of amusing that you can't bring up your Anzac while you give away all of their stuff to someone else. It's called a merger of usufruct, where you've taken the use of the fruits away from the people, Pauline. And you need more immigrants. More immigrants, Albo. More immigrants. More concrete for Queensland, Pauline. More concrete for Queensland. Bring it all the way to the Cape. Let them mine the Cape, Pauline. That's what they want, isn't it? Aboriginal corporations all across the Cape. For mining interests, usufruct, to pay new debts to the newly invoiced. We should have invoiced those Aborigines, shouldn't we, Pauline? We should have invoiced those Aborigines instead of having to go through the states and undermine all the people. That's an interesting thought there. When we're talking about big money men like Bill Gates who pop in and go, hi, I've got billions of dollars for you to look after all those humans out there.